All right, let's unpack what's unfolding around Magashule and the factions within the ANC. I'm joined by a political commentator from the Mapungubwe Institute for Strategic Reflection, Oscar van Heerden. Thanks for your time, Oscar. Appreciate it. So we see all of this unfolding for the past couple of days. There's an arrest warrant. There's no arrest warrant. We have supporters outside Luthuli House. What's really going on?
Well, I mean, I think that this is, as we all know, there's a low-intensity war that's happening within the ANC, and this is yet another demonstration of that war. I think that in as much as the Hawks have denied the issuing of the warrant, I think that the Ace Magashule and his cronies have come to hear that there is an intent to actually arrest him, and so they decided to call out the Hawks.
Yeah.
And the manner in which they do it is by fabricating a story that there is an arrest warrant, and they then throw the ball back to the Hawks and the Hawks obviously denies it. But I think any reasonable person can conclude that after the developments in the last few days in the Free State, many being arrested for a number of transgressions, asbestos, a Steena farm, and so forth, and of course government officials also being arrested, we can reasonably conclude that the person that was at the head of the government at that time, in the form of Ace Magashule, has got something to answer for, and he knows that the authorities is coming for him.
Yeah. So all of this media hype and allegations we're seeing in the media about the Hawks being used for political gain, etc., which is what they said today, that, of course, is some attempt to discredit the Hawks, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is nothing else than misdirection and indeed disinformation. And unfortunately, it comes at a very apt time because Anton Harber has recently, a few days ago, released a very important book on the record in which he talks of the complicity of media in the state capture project. And here we see another case in point. The famous case of Peter Rapedi, where he came up with the bogus issue around the rogue unit and really destroying individuals and destroying families. And we see another case where they fabricate something in order to play the game of mainstream politics, and it's very, very unfortunate. Yeah. Of course, we've seen this before, Shahan, where this game was played, discredit was given to the Scorpions, and we saw the result of that. We have the Scorpions no more. And I think that a similar thing is being played out here. I saw in the insert, for example, with the Free State Youth League, talking of a free and fair trial and so forth. I'm saying that if the Secretary General of the ANC has nothing to answer for, don't think that he's guilty of anything, then what is the big brouhaha?
Yeah. So the tactics we're seeing now is obviously something you say that we've seen before when Jacob Zuma was around, right? But let's talk about the way forward for the ANC and for South Africa, because we need to make sure that South Africans know what's happening behind the scenes and how everyone's being played against each other. So what do people draw from what's unfolding right now within the ANC?
Well, I think that there are two problematics. Everyone is aware of it. The one is a fiscal problem, which is the economy. We need to get jobs. We need to try and get the economy going, especially now coming out of COVID. And then there's a political dilemma as well. And the political dilemma are these factions within the ANC, which can derail this process. We see that the so-called radical economic transformation faction, as headed by Ace Magashule, is intent on making sure that they stay out of prison, that they don't want to actually face the long arm of the law. And the simple thing that South Africans, all of us must remember, is that if you've actually committed a crime, if you've transgressed the law, if you've stolen from the public purse, then you must actually stand trial, and you must be held accountable. Yeah. There's no way around it. We know that there are mumblings and grumblings within MKVA, the veterans. We see that retired generals are also now wanting to be in the mainstream of politics. These are all very alarming signs to suggest that they want to create a fictitious crisis in order to cast negative aspersions on the institutions such as the NPA and the Hawks. And I don't think South Africans will fall for it.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to fall for it because we have people like you trying to explain it for us as well. So lastly, what position does this put Cyril Ramaphosa and what he's trying to do with this fight against corruption?
As you know, this was his rallying cry going into the elections. This is why the electorate decided to put their confidence in him. And I think that he is merely executing exactly what he said he was going to do and set out to do, which is to bring these people to book, to make sure that he capacitates institutions like the NPA. As you know, lots of money that have been given from the Minister of Justice to capacitate the NPA and to fill the necessary vacancies, all because they want to make sure that when they go after these thieves, then they will be able to get successful prosecutions. And I think that the President is executing exactly that plan.
All right, thank you so much for your time and your insight. Appreciate it. That was political commentator Oscar van Heerden.